On this week's episode of the Midlife Mentors podcast, we're delighted to be joined by the UK's top celebrity dating expert and dating coach, James Preece. Here, James shares his top tips and advice for people new to the dating scene, such as how to identify what kind of relationship you're looking for, the best way to build up confidence, what steps to take when creating your dating app profile, and some do's and don'ts of reaching out to new people.
We also share some of our experience in the dating world after divorce, which makes for some good old-fashioned banter. We know you're going to love the high energy of this podcast.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. How are you all? We're very excited.
We are. I had interviews galore, and we're very excited today to be joined by a dating coach. Well, I say the UK's top dating coach, James Preece. So we're looking forward. We've just been chatting, haven't we, about chat-up lines and stuff. And
James is
how I lured you with my successful pitter-patter.
Yes, we've already heard some of James's terrible chat-up lines that he absolutely swears completely grabbed my attention, but they really didn't. They did have me running in the opposite direction, to be honest.
It's all playing on a subliminal level, Claire.
Yeah. So your listeners, you're lucky that you've kind of missed that, but I'm sure it'll crop up again in a second. So what have we been up to, Mr. D? We've just been, we've run our 4-day mini course, which was super successful and exciting. We had lots of people on that.
Great to meet new people on that, which is amazing.
And we have been organising our travel because we are off to sunnier climes again this winter.
Well, we are. Before that, though, we've obviously got our retreat in Marbella coming up. And then we're taking a little break in Ibiza. We haven't been there for 2 years since we packed up when we could see the whole COVID situation looming. And so it wouldn't be great to be stuck on a small island. So I'm excited to go back and get all that going.
So we're excited to do our retreat as well. If you don't know that we also run retreats, that was actually what we did, first of all, for years and years and years before the Midlife Mentors. And we are up running them again. We've run a few since the world's opened up again. And we just run a few now, but we've got our luxury retreat at Punta Romano in Marbella. So if you are interested in that, I'll put the link in the show notes. Get yourself on it and get some sunshine with us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some winter sun.
Yes, I can't wait.
Right, without further ado, let's introduce our guest, James Preece. So James Preece, the UK's top celebrity dating expert and dating coach. Welcome, James.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
We're excited to have you here.
And we have to say, we were just talking about James's amazing get-up and setup that he's got in his office. We're actually doing this on Zoom so we can see his amazing, very professional setup. And the microphone sounds amazing. And we thought 3 years of doing this, we should probably get that. So I think we're going to invest in this stuff.
Okay, all right. We did try a microphone. It actually made it worse.
It did make it worse. It did make it worse. So, James, a dating coach is quite an exciting sounding career. Can you share how you got into this with us, and also a little bit about your backstory?
I can. Well, I'll give you the short version of this because it can go on all day otherwise. So the short version is that about 17 years ago, I used to be an actor and I really enjoyed it. I was doing lots of dating as well. I was good at online dating. I was very good at using my words to get women, shall we say. And then acting didn't always pay a huge amount of money. So one day my friend said that she was working at this party, a big singles party in London called Chemistry, had 1,000 people at this big singles party. So I went with her through the back door, put on the t-shirt, and I pretended that I was hosting the party with her as one of the paid staff, even though I wasn't. And I found I really enjoyed doing this. All my acting skills were very transferable. Flirting, conversation, body language, reading people, had the time of my life. And I started telling people that I was the UK's #1 dating host, and I worked at 10 different companies hosting singles events, speed dating, things like that. And then before I knew it, I met my wife. not from the events, from MySpace of all the places. Would you believe? Remember MySpace?
Oh, MySpace.
Wow.
Tom from MySpace, if you're listening, come back, all is forgiven.
Yeah, what a blast from the past.
It was. This is all probably the very, very start of social media. And I met my wife on there. But then I wasn't allowed to go on any more dates at the time, which is a bit of a shame. So I dropped all the women that I was seeing and then focused on helping people at these events to learn all the things that I knew, how to be successful on dates, and giving them the confidence that I learned myself from the acting. And this is a long, long time ago now. And now I work with so many different brands. I work with 18 different dating agencies out there. I help people all the time. And I feel very, very blessed to do this as a job, because people don't realize, but dating is supposed to be fun. And people have absolute nightmares with it, finding the right partner, not knowing what to do. So I guide them, I make it fun, I empower them. And even just now, before I got onto this podcast with you guys, I coached somebody a full session in a relationship. So, and she's in America. I'm so happy about that. And all my advice worked.
Oh, awesome. I mean, I love that story that you just had the confidence to like pull on that t-shirt, rip into that event and just start going. Right. That's amazing.
Well, I know someone else who did that early in his career at the Ministry of Sound. He started as a journalist and then ended up presenting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
There is video footage of it that I always threaten.
Perhaps we should best gloss over that.
No, I always threaten that if he doesn't treat me nicely, that I'll send that out.
I wasn't always at my best at 4 a.m. in a nightclub.
No, there is. It was the opposite of what we do now, which is health. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's fascinating. So now you work with, like you said, 18 different brands there. So you're available. So if someone's, I guess, getting back into the dating world, you're available there to kind of coach them, give them advice on how to present themselves, approach people, the kind of things to say, have confidence. Is that right?
That's what I do. When I say 18 brands, that's just the dating agencies. There's a lot more other apps and sites I work with as well. I'm so lucky to do this. I really am. But what I do is I help people are new back on the dating scene. Maybe they're divorced or they're single again. They've never had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, don't know what to do, completely clueless. They've lacked the confidence. They're back dating again after COVID and not sure what to do. Maybe they just want a plan to put together, because people hate the dating apps. People can't meet in real life. It's very difficult. And I'm sure we'll come on to these things over the conversation, but people struggle with this. They're not sure the best place to meet people, and the choice can be overwhelming. I give them a plan and so many different things they come to me about. Maybe they want to get an ex-partner back. Maybe they want to work on themselves and do something else and find the job that they really love in life. Because it's not just about love. My own podcast is about bringing more love into your life in different ways. Make sure you have a healthy life and you do all the things that you want to do. So yeah, I make sure people know this is the fun side of things to do.
I love that, because obviously, like we deal with like a lot of midlifers, and many of them actually go through a relationship breakup and really struggle to get back into that dating scene. They find it quite daunting, I guess. And I certainly I did when I went through my divorce. Suddenly you've been in a relationship for 16 years, and suddenly you're thrown back out into the world, and everything had changed. So, have you got any like general advice to people that are finding themselves in that situation, getting back into dating?
Very much so. It's very, very common, this situation. People have been in relationships, they've learnt their patterns and behaviors and the way they live their life, and that's been thrown into chaos, whatever reason. Maybe they've been widowed. They've got a few widows at the moment, early widows, and they got in the same situation. So the very first thing to do is to think about what you want and what is the point of this? Well, who do you want to meet? What sort of type of person do you want to meet? What are your life goals? Do you want to go and meet someone? And then just to get yourself out, take the first steps and go on a date. That is the very first thing. Not to find the one straight away. Have a bit of fun now. Do something about it. Go out there, take the first steps. It can be so scary to get yourself to a singles event nowadays, or to go onto a dating app, or to meet anyone in any sort of situation. People are nervous about this, much more so now after COVID. People are a bit more nervous about how to interact. So the very first thing you got to do is just take the pressure off yourself and do the first thing you can. Maybe go to a speed dating event. Maybe just go on one date, talk to one person. But realize this is the start of a whole new adventure now. And another thing I would say to this is don't compare future people with your ex. Maybe you had a relationship that was good or bad, whatever the situation was, but everyone's different. Don't look for the same thing again. Look for opportunities in new people. And that's the only way to handle it.
That's amazing.
Such great advice. I love that.
I think one of the next questions that we were going to ask you was about dating apps. And for me, I know James went on some dating apps. For me, I was quite blessed. I remember my friend after my second divorce, because this is my third marriage, so third time lucky people. One of my friends put me on Tinder, I think it was, and I went on for literally about 2 weeks, if that, and I just found it so overwhelming. So the fact that you say that you've got a plan for people as well, that wouldn't have been available back then when I was newly single after my second divorce. But I was quite lucky that I didn't have to do that. But I know that you found it quite like daunting, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely daunting. Because obviously, like my relationship, I think it's like 16 years. So I'd met everyone I'd ever dated, kind of like in real life, right, in bars, at events and stuff. And then suddenly, I realised this whole dating world of apps. It was kind of exciting but daunting. But getting your head around how they all worked and how to present yourself, and then it's like you swipe and they'll get the match. You're like, hey, how you doing? And
Dopamine hit.
What do I say after that?
The dopamine hit, right, of the match.
Yeah, though they're gamified. It's an addictive thing. People need that little buzz. On Tinder, a little bell rings if you've got the sound on, a little graphic comes up, popping up like I've got a jackpot. There you go. I feel good about myself for the next 10 minutes. I need another hit now. What do? Keep getting it. So people are always on there just doing this. And the trouble is, these apps generally do not work. They are not designed to help you meet your perfect partner. If they really wanted to, you can go on there and based on the algorithms and using them for a little bit, they would find you a perfect partner. But then what happens? They would lose 2 customers for life who wouldn't spend a penny. So being a dating app is not a good business model. So they're not designed for this. Some people get lucky and you have a bit of interaction and that can work, but there are 9 men on Tinder for every woman. That's the first problem. So you've got to have really good pictures, and men aren't going around taking pictures of themselves every day to stick on dating apps. Women are okay, they've got hair and makeup, but it's a struggle. People don't know how to market themselves, don't know how to start the interactions in the right way. But once you know how to create a profile that works for you, and it's glossy, shiny advert, explaining what you want and making people laugh, that's the best way to do that. But as you said, in the past, we'd meet through work, we'd meet in real life. That's so much more difficult now. Everyone working from home, events aren't running the same way that they used to. People aren't going out, it's too expensive. So the apps do serve a purpose, they bring people together. But I think it's only just one part of what you should be doing.
Yeah, that's interesting you to say that. Do you feel like it almost just gives people that confidence of actually, okay, I'm back in the world again? That confidence, and like you say, maybe use it to go on a date as a litmus test.
Yes, it's good practice just to start talking to people, not to hide behind the app and keep talking away and texting. To get on the telephone for 10 minutes, arrange a date and get on with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up being pen pals for a long time. It doesn't go anywhere. And in which time they're going off dating somebody else rather than pen pals.
It's glorified pen pals, actually, isn't it?
It is. But they do work if you're new to the dating scene. I do recommend them, but there's no point just doing it the wrong way as most people do, because you can be very, very frustrated and you end up with a paradox of choice. There's so many people on there that you can't see who you like, and there's always someone else. The grass is always a bit greener. The next person that comes along, oh, she's more attractive, he's a bit taller. Really, wow. If you met them in real life, you probably connect and have a great interaction. Wow. You're so much judgmental, really.
Yeah. And with the apps being such a big part of the dating scene now, what would you say are just some of your top do's and don'ts with your profile, and when you're thinking of matching with someone?
First of all, remember, it is an advert for you. You only the app's a very, very short amount of space on there to write about yourself. When you've got dating sites like Match.com and eHarmony, the profiles are much longer. But on the dating app like Tinder or Hinge or Bumble or other apps that are out there, you can go on there and create a few lines about yourself. You've got to make sure that they count. There's no point in writing. I saw one the other day, one of my clients wrote, "I don't like bananas," and they wrote that on there. How is someone going to know if they're a match for you?
It's a good point.
It is. If you don't like bananas, great, wonderful. But how does that tell what sort of person you are, what you're looking for? It doesn't.
Totally for me.
Do you like bananas?
I'm not a massive fan. Not a massive
really?
fan. But James, I can imagine you saying something like, "I don't like shellfish."
No, my profile was very good, thank you.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know you were quite successful on it, weren't you?
Well, what I did, actually, I got girlfriends I knew to help me feed back on my profile to see what would work. Yeah. So then I had like the inside line.
But then you couldn't be bothered to go and meet them. This is the funny story, true story in Ibiza, because it was all in Ibiza, wasn't it?
True story. I got very lazy with it. So I'd match someone, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, do you want to come and meet up with me?" And I'm like, "Well, where are you?" Like, on the other side of the island, which is tiny anyway. I'll just be like,
an island.
No.
An island. This
couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, this is how lazy this one got.
Yeah, I've been there. But a long, long time ago now. So I understand. But if you are one of the men that are doing the right things, have good pictures, and you're lucky to have your hair, for example, so little things like that, they're going to help. They're going to help you stand out for the right way. Yeah. So absolutely. So the next thing is to make sure that you've got really good photographs. And I mean professional ones that make it like a real person, but making you look glossy. Because most people will have pictures of them in a mirror, holding a camera phone up, or a selfie, or a webcam, or them at a party looking a bit drunk, or them with their friends on a night out. They are not good ways to sell yourself. You wouldn't show a potential employer that, would you? So there are companies out there that I work with a lot who take pictures for you of you sitting down, smiling. Smiling is the very first thing. The amount of men that do not smile in their pictures, it is shocking. It's like a rogues gallery sometimes you go through these things. And you look at them and they're appalling. You've got to smile and have talking point things in that. Maybe you've got a dog, a picture of you and a dog. And you've got a dog, haven't you? Or was it a cat?
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, things like that. Show your personality off. If you like reading books, have a picture of you holding a book that you like. Get people to make it as easy as possible to start conversations with you. And the next thing is, do not spend too long thinking about how clever I'm going to be to have these conversations to get the ball rolling. Just don't say hi, but say something interesting about the other person's profile. Male or female, be proactive and make the first move, whatever you do. If you're not proactive, someone else will be and snap them up very quickly. Get on with it while the interest is there. Don't wait 3 days to respond to them. Otherwise, they're going to lose interest and go off and date somebody else. Get them on the telephone for 10 minutes. Work out, do you want to meet them? If you've got a connection, is there any banter going on? If there is, arrange a date and get on with it.
Oh, I love the advice.
Could have done with you, James, a few years ago.
Everyone tells me that.
I love the advice of actually saying something engaging about their profile, because actually, a lot of the time I would imagine some people are on send, not receive, in the sense of us women. We want the men to seem interested in us, not just say, oh, it's all me, 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 me. So really good point there. If I had been on dating apps, that would have been helpful.
You don't have time for dating apps for all these marriages by the sounds of it.
Oh, I know. I have been flat out, James. I really have. It was one trauma after another. Let's hope this one fits. No, I'm joking. I found my. No, I know. We're very lucky that we knew each other. Actually, we knew each other for years before we got together. So that didn't need a dating app.
Did you always like each other?
Yeah. Oh, but
Claire,
you didn't say yes very loudly.
No, but it's hilarious because I liked him when I first saw him because I was like, oh, he's got gorgeous blue eyes. Then I went off, and this is how long ago it was. I went off and got married. Then our relationships broke up in the same month, and we found out through mutual friends. And then James made it very clear that he liked me, but I was in that kind of very promiscuous, don't really, just not interested. So he stuck with it. He He ground me down,
Persistent and consistent.
It won the day. And we ended up going out about a year and a half later, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got there in the end.
I did get there in the end.
Yeah.
Best stories take a while to get to the end, don't they?
Yeah, it wasn't a smooth road. I'd say actually, everyone listening, you're the dating expert, but sometimes the struggle is worth it, right? So a lot of people I find give up too easily.
He really didn't.
Perseverance is important, and that's something else about giving up. People always feel frustrated when they come to me. They're at the last resort now. They think, oh, what am I going to do now? I'm never going to meet somebody. I'm the last one standing. I tried this, it didn't work. I tried dating apps, didn't work. Went to one singles event, didn't like anybody. What do I do now? But there are millions of people out there who would love to do something about this. So perseverance in all sense of the word. Absolutely do something about it, because the next person you meet could be the one.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. And it's so true. We just give up too easily.
We talked there about apps and how that's a great way, I guess, to start getting your confidence, to dip your toe back in the dating water. But what if you are older in midlife and you're struggling a bit and you would rather go and meet people in real life? Could you give us some advice around that? What's a good way to do that?
Absolutely. I think meeting people in the real world is a very good idea, regardless of what you do. And I recommend, first of all, go to your social circle. If you've got single friends, go to them, ask them want to go to things with you. If not, doesn't matter. Maybe they've got single friends themselves. So go to your friends and ask them if they've got someone they can introduce you to. Everyone wants to play matchmaker just once. If you don't appreciate it, they won't do it twice, but they will try that once. Then look at the singles events. Like I said, there are singles events for all ages. It's not just speed dating or sitting around at pubs. It could be wine tasting, sporting activities. It could be all sorts of wonderful things you can go to and learn a new skill from. Look at something like Meetup. Meetup is full of social events you can go to where everyone go for walks and activities. Do that. There's lots of people in midlife who go on there all the time. And if not, there are talks everywhere, or maybe there are bar openings or wine tastings at galleries, all these sort of things. Go and do something new, or go to the gym. Gyms are good places to meet people, but get yourself out there and just try different things, and don't be afraid to just go once, because everyone's looking to meet new friends anyway. Everyone's a bit lonely nowadays, and just going up and saying hello, making new friends, you never know who they can introduce you to next time.
Well, I think that's great advice. And I actually think one of the next questions that we had for you was definitely something that we've discussed. It was more for you after being with someone for 16 years, with the confidence thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when long relationships end and you are older, your self-confidence can be shot. It took me with jokes about now being on dating, it took me a long time to get back into that, because I didn't feel like anyone would want me. I was just like, well, I'm kind of washed up now. I failed at that relationship. I don't even know where to go from here. So what are some tips people can use to build their confidence back up and get their confidence back after a long relationship's broken up?
Yeah, that's another very, very common issue. People lack the confidence, aren't sure what they're going to bring to the table, and they don't know what to do. The first thing is to remember that everyone feels the same way. Even the most confident, outgoing people don't want to be rejected. And that's what it is. It's about fear of rejection, isn't it? That feel I'm not good enough, no one wants me, I'm not attractive. So realizing everyone's going through that, everyone's a bit nervous, is the first thing. And then, like I mentioned at the start, take things slowly to just rebuild and do things at your own pace that you feel comfortable with, and go out on dates without being too picky, just to get a bit of practice going. And then work on what you have as your own value. It's all very well thinking I want a partner that does this, this, and this, but what do you bring to the table? What makes you special? What are your unique qualities? And when you start to think about this and write them down, you can build to that over time and think, do you know what? I am quite a catch here. And I'm very lucky I've got this. I've got the flexibility or freedom, or I can speak languages, or I've got this award, or I collect stamps, whatever it might be. These things make you who you are, but all the rest of it, everyone's different. Work on what makes you different. I always work on with my clients on that in the very first session, knowing your own value. That way you stop putting people on pedestals. You realize that they're lucky to spend time with you, and you don't end up settling. I never allow anyone to settle. There's compromise in life, but not settling.
Of course.
So we have to realize now, you don't always know what you want if you're new to the dating game again, and confidence is going to be an issue, but go and find someone that you can just get on with, have a good bond with, and take things as slowly as you want. There is no rush to get into a new relationship. Enjoy the fun, because in 6 months' time, you might end up with somebody else. And think, do you know what? I wish I'd made more of my opportunities as being single.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really interesting, actually, that you say you don't necessarily know what you want. That's really key, and that's really resonated with me, because I think when you do come out, you're so indoctrinated in the person that you are in that relationship that you lose yourself and don't know who you are, what you want, what makes you happy. And that's, my goodness, a journey of discovery. And that's a personal journey, but you can find that through kind of exploring, meeting different people as well, right? So actually taking that pressure off, like you say, and as you use it as an opportunity to think, who am I? Did that go well? Did I like that person? What am I looking for? Rather than just assuming that it's the same thing that you had with the previous partner. Yeah,
as open-minded as possible. That's what I tell people. Just go into this. Doesn't really matter. You might expect you want one thing and end up with something completely different. But it's only when going out there and trying and making mistakes, and I don't believe in mistakes as such, but going out and doing different things, they're all adventures you can go on. And dating is an adventure and an opportunity to go and have fun and do different, strange, wonderful things with different people, and learn more and more each time about what you want. It can take time, but there's no rush for it.
Yeah. And I remember you saying that to me, that you had absolutely no confidence when he first went out on the dating scene. I was like, how can that be? Like, how, for me, when I met him, I was like, you're gorgeous. Like, how did you not know how amazing you are, that you're a massive catch? And it's just so true. You just really didn't realize at all, did you?
Oh, no, totally not. But I think, when a relationship ends, a long relationship like that, your confidence can be so knocked. You do question your value. It's interesting. So when I started to do work on myself, around what are my values, what do I want from life, that my confidence started to come back up, and I started to be more successfare with dating.
Very successful with dating.
Obviously.
So I heard in the rumour mill. So are there any dating do's and don'ts people should be aware of, James?
There are so many. One I touched upon today with somebody in my session is people look for red flags all the time. Reasons things are going to go wrong, reasons someone's not going to be a catch, reasons why they're not going to work out. But really, you should be looking for reasons that things are going to go well. opportunities that are going to be green flags. Look for what can go right rather than what can go wrong. Otherwise, all you're doing is focusing on negativity, and it's never going to work out that way. That's the first thing. The next thing is don't drink too much on dates. I talk about that one a lot. The map stories, even my own stories when I used to be single, drinking too much and things don't always go well when you do that. So to keep the first date to around 90 minutes. Don't spend hours and hours and hours with somebody. As my client today, who is now in a relationship, her first date was 12 hours with somebody. And there's always exceptions, but I think leave them wanting a bit more when things are going really, really well.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, take your time. And also don't be affected by other people's opinions either, because everyone's got their opinion on what you should be doing, or your family will say, well, you shouldn't date that person. Do what you want to do in life. Just go with the flow, because if you allow other people to create opportunities or to just press you into things or manipulate your thoughts, that's not good either. It's not you doing things for the right reason. I see that a lot. People say, oh, my parents think I shouldn't date this person, or I should be dating someone that's more like that. Date someone for you. Date someone that you are attracted to, that you want to have a good time with, someone that makes you happy. You're not in this to make someone else happy.
Love that.
Love those.
Love that.
You've got to ask this. The other question that you actually you can't.
I'm a big fan of chat up lines
ask.
if used in the right way. But is it chat up lines, yes or no, from the dating expert?
Everything you say, even hello, is some form of chat up line, isn't it? Every friend you've ever met in your life is someone you said hello to at some point. Chat up lines have their place, but generally no, because most of them suck beyond belief and everyone's heard of them. And it's very hard to even use them and start a conversation because everyone's so scared of rejection. Going up to somebody and asking them something bizarre isn't going to get the best response. So going up to them, asking how their day's been is probably the best chat up line. How they're getting on, having a nice time. What drink are they drinking? What shirt do you recommend I should get? What muffin should I get here if you're in a coffee shop? That's a chat up line. You're still doing it, but it doesn't need to be something funny or sarcastic or in any way cheeky. Cheekiness is good, actually, having said that.
Yes, cheekiness. I like.
But not sleazy.
Not sleazy.
But
not why you're looking at me like that.
Because there was one event we went to. We were both at. What you say about drinking.
You leaned too close to me and I thought you were trying to kiss me, so I reciprocated.
James was very, very drunk. And this is the point about not being too drunk. And then came up to me and actually was very, very sleazy chat up lines. And I was like, I was starting to like you then, mate, but I've now gone off you. So actually anyone listening to this, actually the chat up line can do the complete opposite and send one running for the hills.
Yeah, and that's true of dating apps as well. People tend to use chat up lines sometimes to start a conversation. There are 3 things you can do to start a conversation on a dating app. You can use, hi, how are you? How was your day? Boring messages that everyone sends. Number 2, try and be a bit funny. Use a cheeky chat up line. Most time it doesn't work. But number 3, go for something in their profile that interests you and ask them about that. That's a much better thing to do in the same way you would do in the real world. Or pay them a compliment. You know, really nice. I want to come over and say hi. Hope you don't mind. Something like that.
Love that. I love that. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple.
Yes.
Who's going to say no?
So finally, could you tell us a little bit about how you work with clients? You've dived into that a little bit, but how you work with clients and how also people can get in touch with you. So how do you work with people and how can they get in touch with you, James?
Sure. I work remotely. I work via Zoom most of the time. I do face-to-face, but not as much now due to the pandemic. I choose my own hours and work by Zoom. Wonderful world. Yay. And I have clients all over the world who come to me for all different reasons. Maybe it's the confidence. They want to do dating profiles. They want to interact. They've got a date. They want it coming up. How do they make the most of it? What do they do? Or I work with so many different dating agencies that charge a fortune, but they use me and send me all the clients to make sure everyone gets a good return on their investment and knows how to date. I've got loads of books. I've got courses. I work with different dating brands. I advise them. I've got meetings about dating apps, how to make them work, all these sort of things. And you can find more about me on my website, which is jamespreece.com, or on my Instagram, which is James Preece Coach. And please do reach out to me, say hello, ask me any questions you've got. And on my website, there's a free book on there called Your Soulmate is Waiting, How to Find Your Soulmate Using the Law of Attraction. That's a great book. It's yours. If you want it, go and grab it now.
Oh, I like that. Because it's all about energy as well, James, right?
Yes.
It's about the energy you bring to it. You know, we talk about that a lot, the manifesting, but making sure that your energy is as solid as it can be and in alignment with who you want to attract in. We've talked about that on another podcast, actually, with a lovely lady called Katie Phillips, who actually works with midlife women, helping call in their soulmate.
I work with Katie.
Oh, we love Katie. Yeah,
I coach her ladies on how to do the dating profiles. That's what I do.
Amazing. Oh my
Amazing.
goodness, we did not know that. So yeah, so
No.
Katie's you're exactly, so you work with her, so you're in alignment with her approach, which is
Yep.
all about like the energy and obviously the law of attraction. So
That's
like
right.
that book will be amazing. So listeners,
Yes, listeners, go and download that book.
go
We
and
will
grab
put
that.
all of these URLs in the show notes,
will.
so you have an easy way to contact James and get more advice.
James, it's been amazing. Thank you so much, and yeah, wishing you best of luck. Lots of luck.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.